Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a homework assignment at one southern Kentucky school has some parents crying foul. And after 3 years of construction, the new 4-lane segment of the Mountain Parkway expansion running through Salyersville's Restaurant Row is now completely open. Plus, Kentucky for Kentucky worked with an Eastern Kentucky artist to create some finger-licking good work just in time for Thanksgiving.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:02 on this Friday. It's November 22nd. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News This Morning. The rain is falling on the studio and it's starting to make me want to go back to sleep. Let's bring in Brandon this morning, give you a breakdown of how much struggle you're going to have this morning, because how long, Brandon, is that rain going to last?
That's why we're standing up, Will, because if we sat down, we'd be asleep.
Almost falling asleep standing up, to be honest with you.
Come back to me one time, I'll be, leaned over, yeah. But no, listen, it's a good morning for sleeping, but if you got to get up and get moving, just make sure you take it easy this morning. Give yourself plenty of time as you head out the door, because the rain is really coming down. Let's go to live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you can see it there, especially near I-64 back from Moorhead toward Ashland. And then we're going to zoom in on this cluster right here, basically from Williamsburg through Barberville up through Hyden and Manchester there, and then over toward Hindman and Pikeville and Jenkins. So again, just be extra careful. Ponding water, probably a definite issue on those roads. Visibility an issue too. Fog and heavy rain, so just be careful. A lot of spots below that 5-mile threshold this morning. Temperatures still dropping. 51 in Hazard, 48 Pikeville, 49 in London, 48 also Harlan, 50 in Middlesboro, Logan as well, and Moorhead, 51 in Ashland. We'll rebound to right around 52. Our daytime high was actually right around midnight last night. Soggy conditions will be on tap for us, but we could see a break in the action a little bit later on today. We look ahead for the weekend, and you see soggy conditions will continue, but cooler temperatures will be in behind that front, and then maybe a rain break the first of Thanksgiving week. Will?
Alrighty, Brandon, thank you. Well, some sad news this morning. One person is dead following a crash on Interstate 75 in Madison County. Our sister station WKYT was the first to report this. The crash is in the northbound lanes near the 86-mile marker, closing that part of the interstate. Police are diverting traffic at exit 83 to Duncannon Lane and then to Highway 25. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says 2 vehicles are involved in the crash. That Transportation Cabinet anticipates the interstate will be blocked until about 8 this morning. Well, an assignment at a southern Kentucky elementary school has created some controversy. Parents say they are concerned with the worksheet asking students to circle pictures certain words describe. As WYMT's Phil Pendleton tells us, parents say what's disturbing is how they were asked to describe what the word fat meant.
And a skinnier girl, and it really offended me.
Laura Lee Lewis says when going through her first grade daughter's assignments, she came upon this worksheet.
They have to teach the kids the words for descriptions of things, but I think to use that word with those pictures really bothered me more than anything.
Having to circle what a cow was, what a hill was, but what shocked and angered Lewis is using the images of a girl to describe fat.
And I had to explain to her that it was body shaming. Even if it was a skinny girl, or the example for skinny, I feel like that would still be body shaming that person, because some people don't want to be called that.
Laurel County school officials released a statement saying that no parents have contacted them because of this, but because of it, they are reviewing their curriculum. Lewis says the worksheet was given in a reading mastery class. She says they could have used something besides people, especially children, for the word description.
They could have used an animal, or like I gave an example of a cupcake, that they could even use that, a bigger cupcake and a little cupcake, and say which one's fat.
Lewis says she was bullied as a child and believes such things could lead to more problems for her daughter and others.
Well, my daughter's already aware of it. She had heard somebody call somebody else fat at school, and she was like, that's not right, you shouldn't do that.
In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Lewis says she does not blame her daughter's teachers, but believes curriculum needs to be checked to make sure it is not offensive. Meanwhile, the American Cancer Society is helping smokers kick their habit. It's the 44th year for the Great American Smokeout. According to the American Cancer Society, tobacco kills nearly 480,000 people every year. This year, while focused on getting people to quit, the organization is also calling on the Kentucky legislature to approve funding to keep people from starting to smoke. They say they're also concerned about a growing number of teenagers using e-cigarettes.
We know that 1 out of 4 youth use e-cigarettes. We also know that youth who are using e-cigarettes are more likely to try regular combustible cigarettes, and that's a problem.
The American Cancer Society Action Network is asking for funding in the next legislative session. Well, you only have one more day to donate blood for the Big Blue Crush competition. It's the Kentucky Blood Center's annual blood battle against Tennessee. Coach John Calipari tweeted a reminder to fans to donate. If you do, you will get a long sleeve Big Blue Crush t-shirt and a McDonald's coupon. At last check, Kentucky is in the lead with more than 1,700 donors. Tennessee has more than 1,100. Again, that competition ends today. Meanwhile, Kentucky for Kentucky worked with an Eastern Kentucky artist to create some finger-licking good work in Kentucky just in time for a Kentucky Thanksgiving. Pike County native Coleman Larkin is the brains behind the idea. You might remember him from the spring when he developed a way to preserve horse droppings and sell them for $200. He went to KFC restaurants across the state, bought their gravy, and used it for a tie-dye t-shirt.
The KFC gravy, nice and brown, beautiful color, does the job perfectly. It's an authentic stain, and I will not lie to you, there's a slight aroma still.
Now, you might be asking how much one of those pieces of art will run you. The cost is $50, but Larkin says they are worth $100. Mountain Parkway's Restaurant Row project in Salyersville is now open to traffic completely. The purpose of the expansion is to create a safer and wider highway to improve travel between eastern, western, and central Kentucky. WYMT's Lacey Roberts talked with those who are happy the construction is complete.
After a 3-year wait, the expansion of Restaurant Row on the Mountain Parkway in Magoffin County is now complete.
I was here before they started it, and finally when they finished it, I'm still here.
We are majorly excited, and the cones are all gone, and we're like, it's open.
Drivers traveling along the parkway can now use the full 4 lanes of the stretch of the road. And businesses like Dairy Queen can now see a steady flow coming back to their operations.
Well, for us to have our customers to be able to flow in and out without the flow, the uneven flow is very excited.
Designing a safer experience for drivers was a primary focus.
Before it was the 3 lanes, 2 lanes with the turning lane, and there was no lights or anything through there.
Often causing tourists to pass restaurants and gas stations, traffic lights were added to separate local traffic.
We want the businesses to be used. We don't want people just zipping on by.
Wanting people to stop and see how far Magoffin County has come since a tornado hit in 2012.
We've finally gotten that portion done, and we've healed, and now it's time to grow.
Sidewalks along the parkway also encourage people to walk or run as part of a nationwide trend to get out and be active. In Magoffin County, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, those who frequently travel the Mountain Parkway tell WYMT they are happy to not sit in traffic any longer than necessary. Well, Kentucky Lieutenant Governor Jeanine Hampton will appeal a judge's ruling to dismiss her lawsuit against Governor Matt Bevin. Last month, Franklin Circuit Judge Philip Shepard ruled the governor has the authority to hire and fire staff members in the lieutenant governor's office. Hampton filed the lawsuit after 2 staff members were fired by the Bevin administration. Hampton's attorney filed the appeal on Wednesday. Both Hampton and Governor Bevin will be leaving their offices on December 10th. A stay in Washington, D.C. last year by Governor Bevin could be the latest piece in 2 cases alleging President Trump violated a constitutional clause. During a trip, Governor Bevin stayed at the president's D.C. hotel. The Washington Post reports the nearly $700 bill was initially paid for by Kentucky taxpayers before the state's Republican Party reimbursed the Commonwealth. Both federal court cases allege the president violated a clause blocking the president from accepting payments from states. Attorneys for the president argued the clause does not bar him from accepting market rate hotel room payments. Governor Bevin, the Kentucky Republican Party, and lawyers for the president did not respond for comment on the Post story. WYMT was able to talk with Senator Rand Paul for about 10 minutes yesterday morning. A number of topics were brought up, including Kentucky's election and infrastructure bill the senator proposed, as well as the impeachment inquiry against President Trump.
I don't think he's done anything wrong at all. I think presidents since the beginning of time have always sort of used foreign aid as a leverage to get what they want, and it's done really repeatedly throughout history.
You can catch the entire interview with Senator Rand Paul and Steve Hensley on WYMT.com.
I know this rain is making me sleepy. It seems like I can't quit yawning off camera there, but again, we're going to continue to see that through most of the day today, and we're seeing some heavy rain this morning. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, and anywhere you're seeing red, orange, or yellow, or even darker green, that's heavy rain, so be careful in those areas this morning. Visibility taking a hit either due to fog or, again, some heavy rain limiting visibility, so just be careful and give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going this morning. Watch out for those school buses, too. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s. They will stabilize back into the 50s later today, low 50s. A soggy Friday on tap, maybe a break this afternoon, this evening, and then we'll start to see round 2 tomorrow with more rain, and chances for rain continue early on Sunday before skies start to clear later in the day. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, thank you for joining Brandon and I on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. With Love from Harlan is trying to make sure those in need do not go hungry by setting up blessing boxes throughout the area. And a Laurel County woman has collected presents for 200 kids throughout the county this Christmas.